thank you for joining me again in today's video. Perhaps you've been sensing it too, that subtle shift in the air. It's not loud, not obvious, but just enough to make you pause and take notice. Like a quiet wind brushing past, carrying with it the memory of something once lost, an opportunity that slipped away, a relationship left unresolved, or a version of yourself that seemed to fade in the noise of everyday life. If you've felt any of that rising to the surface again, know that it's not by chance. The universe is moving in a very particular way right now. One of the most significant shifts this month is Mercury's return to direct motion on April 7th, after a stretch marked by delays, misunderstandings, and communication breakdowns. The planet of thought and expression is finally settling back into its natural rhythm. That means conversations left hanging can now find resolution, decisions that once felt uncertain begin to take shape, and connections thought long gone may quietly start to reappear. In the rest of this video, we'll explore why this moment in time opens a powerful doorway for second chances, for reconnections, and for the return of everything you once thought was gone for good. Only now, it's coming back clearer, stronger, and more aligned with who you've become. If you're ready, let's step into the astrological current of this month together. As we move further into April, the astrological currents continue to build toward something deeply transformative, and all of it seems to culminate around a powerful energetic convergence on April 7th. But before we get there, it's important to understand the groundwork being laid just days before. On April 4th, we witness two important alignments. First, Saturn forms a supportive sextile with Uranus. This is a rare and harmonious meeting between structure and innovation, an invitation to take calculated risks, to break new ground without losing your footing. It's a message from the cosmos that says, yes, you can change, but do it with intention, with wisdom. That same day, Mars trines Saturn, adding fuel to long-term goals and helping you mobilize energy in a grounded, disciplined way. It's the perfect moment to rally your community, align your actions with a higher purpose, and finally make progress on something that once felt stalled. The universe is providing both the momentum and the maturity to move forward with clarity. Then we arrive at April 7th, a day that acts like a cosmic checkpoint. Not only does Mercury go direct, clearing the air after a time of confusion, but Venus also conjuncts Saturn. And this is where it all comes together. While spring usually brings softness and romance, this conjunction adds a layer of seriousness and depth to matters of the heart. It asks you to look at your relationships, not through rose-colored glasses, but through the lens of truth. Who is truly aligned with your long-term values? Which connections are built to last, and which ones were never meant to carry you forward? It's not about withholding love. It's about refining it, choosing it with maturity. And under this energy, love, whether romantic, platonic, or even self-directed, becomes something more sacred, more deliberate. So as we enter this meaningful point in the month, know this. April 7th isn't just another day, it's a turning point. The illusions are lifting, clarity is returning, and you are being called to step into relationships, decisions, and directions that are solid, sincere, and worthy of the life you're building now. Now that the path is beginning to clear, thanks to Mercury's direct motion and the grounded clarity brought by Saturn's alignment with both Mars and Venus, you may start to notice something even deeper stirring beneath the surface. It's not just about gaining new direction, it's about welcoming back what once seemed lost. The comeback isn't abstract, it's real and it's personal. And for many of you, that return will come in the form of long-awaited opportunities. Perhaps there was a door that once closed too soon, a job that didn't work out, a creative project you had to set aside, or a vision for your future that felt out of reach. Now, under these aligning cosmic forces, that same door may begin to open again. Only this time, you're walking through it with greater clarity and maturity. The version of you that stands at the threshold today is not the same one who once stood there uncertain or unprepared. This return is not a repeat. It's a second chance with stronger hands and a wiser heart. For some, what returns may not be a path but a person. Relationships that once held meaning, whether romantic, familial, or soul-level connections, may begin to resurface. This doesn't mean every old flame or friendship is meant to be rekindled, but those that align with who you are now may find their way back to you. These aren't just reconnections. They're reminders that the bonds which nourish your spirit have a way of enduring time and distance. And under Venus conjunct Saturn, what reappears now is not fleeting. It's calling for commitment, for depth, for truth. And then there's something even more personal, the return of your own inner strength. After months, maybe even years, of feeling scattered or dimmed by the weight of responsibilities, emotions, or uncertainty, you may find yourself standing up a little taller, speaking a little clearer, trusting your own voice again. That's not an accident. This is the return of your self-confidence, your emotional balance, your magnetic energy, the essence of you, the you that knows your worth and walks with quiet conviction, is making its way back to center stage. In the next part of this journey, we'll talk about how to receive all of this, because what's returning to your life isn't just knocking. It's asking if you're ready to open the door, and the way you answer may shape the entire chapter that follows. So how do you know if your comeback is already unfolding? Often, it doesn't begin with fireworks or grand announcements. It begins quietly, almost imperceptibly. A memory that resurfaces out of nowhere. A familiar name that appears in your thoughts after years of silence. These aren't coincidences. They are signals, subtle nudges from the universe, telling you that the past is circling back, not to haunt you, but to offer you something new within the old. Maybe you've recently found yourself thinking about a project you once abandoned. At the time, it may have felt impractical, too ambitious, or simply ill-timed. But now, in this energy of grounded momentum and clarified purpose, that same idea might feel alive again. Your mind lingers on it longer. You begin to imagine how it could work, what it could look like today, not as a repetition, but as a rebirth. That is your sign. Or perhaps you've unexpectedly crossed paths with someone from your past, a chance encounter, a message out of the blue. These moments have weight now. They're not just nostalgia. Under Venus conjunct Saturn, relationships returning now come with purpose. If someone reappears in your life, especially someone whose presence once brought growth or challenge, pay attention. The connection may not look the same, but its role in your journey may be far from over. Emotionally, things may also feel clearer. Where once there was confusion, you now understand. Where there was doubt, a quiet knowing is beginning to settle in. You're no longer guessing what you want, who you are, or what matters most. That clarity is one of the most powerful signs of all, because when your internal world aligns, the external tends to follow. And so, in the next part of our exploration, we'll focus on how to meet this moment with grace. Because this comeback, this return of people, purpose, and personal power is not just happening around you, it's happening for you. But to receive it fully, you must be willing to trust what you feel, honor what you've outgrown, and stand open to what's finding its way back. Let's talk about how. Now that you've begun to recognize the signs, that quiet stirring of memory, the return of long-lost ideas, the presence of people or emotions you thought were behind you, the next step is perhaps the most important of all, knowing how to receive it. Because the universe can only give back what you're truly ready to hold. The first invitation is simple, but not always easy. Let go of the bitterness. Whatever left your life before, whether it was sudden or slow, painful or unclear, it left for a reason. Maybe it had to. But if it's returning now, it's not the same, and neither are you. Holding on to resentment only clouds the new form that's taking shape. So this is the moment to soften, to say, I release what hurt me, and I make room for what can heal me. That single act of forgiveness, whether toward another or yourself, can unlock more doors than you realize. Next, you must learn to discern. Not everything that returns is meant to stay. Some things come back to be resolved, not repeated. This is where your inner wisdom steps in. Ask yourself, does this align with the life I'm building now? Does this reflect who I've become, not just who I was? Trust the quiet yes or no that rises in response. That's your compass. That's how you choose not just what feels familiar, but what's truly meant for your future. And then be open to surprise. Your comeback might not look like you imagined. It might arrive in a different form, from a different source, at a completely unexpected moment. That's the magic of divine timing. It rarely fits into our schedule, but it always lands right on time. So stay flexible. Don't close the door just because something feels unfamiliar. Some of the best blessings come in packaging we would never think to expect. Finally, and this is perhaps the boldest part, begin to act like you're already in your winning season. Make decisions from the version of yourself who has already received the love, the opportunity, the clarity. Walk into the room as if the comeback has already happened, because in many ways it has. The shift is in motion, the energy is aligning, and the more you embody that truth, the more fully it will unfold in your outer world. In the closing part of our journey, we'll look ahead, not just to what's returning, but to what it's bringing with it. Because this isn't just about restoration, it's about elevation. And what's waiting for you on the other side of this return is something far more powerful than anything you lost. Let's step into that vision together. And now we arrive at the part of the story where everything begins to make sense. When the return isn't just a memory or a feeling, it's a tangible shift in your world. Because the truth is, this isn't just a season of coming back, it's a season of rising up. And what's waiting for you on the other side of this return is not what you once lost. It's what you were always meant to grow into. For many of you, that means career breakthroughs with lasting impact. The opportunities circling back now, whether it's a job offer, a creative endeavor, or a leadership role, aren't just meant to bring temporary success. They're here to place you on a path of long-term mastery. This time, you're not just showing up for the work, you're owning your place within it. The hesitation is gone. The clarity is here, and the recognition you may have once felt distant from is now finding its way to you step by step. In the realm of the heart, there's a deeper, more grounded kind of love returning. Whether it's a renewed bond with someone from your past, or a new connection that carries an echo of something deeply familiar, what comes now is different. It's not based on fantasy. It's rooted in truth. Under the influence of Venus and Saturn, the love that's being offered to you is mature, healing, and sincere. It's the kind of love that doesn't need to chase or prove, it simply is. And if it's coming back into your life now, it's because it's ready to meet you where you truly are. Even more profound than the outer rewards, however, is the resurgence of your inner power. That quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't shout but radiates, has begun to return. Where you once doubted, now you trust. Where you once played small, now you step forward without apology. This isn't arrogance, this is alignment. A reconnection to the part of you that always knew your worth, even when the world couldn't see it yet. And perhaps most sacred of all is the timing. Because what's arriving in your life now is not late, it's not too little, it's right on time. What once felt like a delay, you may now begin to see as divine orchestration. The detours made you ready, the waiting strengthened your resolve, and the losses? They made space for something better. So as you continue walking this path, remember, you are not going back. You are moving forward, carrying with you only what was always meant to be. The comeback you're experiencing is not just a return, it's a rebirth. And it's only just beginning. Everything you thought you lost, it was never truly gone. It was being refined, reshaped, and prepared to return in a form that would serve you more deeply than it ever could before. The delay was never denial, It was alignment, a pause, so that when the time came, you would not only recognize what's returning, but be strong enough, wise enough, and ready enough to hold it. And now, that time is here. So the only question that remains is the one only you can answer. Are you ready to receive what you truly deserve? Because the universe is ready, your path is open, and everything you've been waiting for is already finding its way back to you. Thank you for spending this time with me. I know these aren't just words on a screen or ideas in the sky. These are real emotions, real turning points, and real longings that live inside you. If you've been moving through this season feeling uncertain, grieving what's been lost, or quietly holding space for something to return, I want you to know you are not alone. You've done the hard work. You've stayed the course through silence, doubt, and delay, and now the energy is shifting, not just around you, but for you. This moment, this comeback, it isn't loud. It's not meant to be. It's steady, intentional, and deeply aligned. And as you move forward, I hope you'll carry with you the knowing that everything returning now is doing so because you are ready. Not because you're perfect, but because you've grown into the version of yourself who can receive it and hold it with both grace and strength. So whatever is making its way back into your life, an opportunity, a connection, a dream, or simply your own sense of self, I hope you meet it with an open heart and the quiet power of someone who knows they're walking into a season they've earned. Until next time, stay grounded, stay open, and trust the timing of your life. I'll be right here walking this journey with you.